Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of PCs and EVs. In this video, we're taking a look at the 2023 Kia all-wheel drive GT line, limited edition, car of the year, whatever. The trim just keeps going on and on. But yeah, stick with me and we'll take a look at it. Here you guys see the new Kia EV6 GT line, all-wheel drive, and its 2023 limited edition utility vehicle of the year color. The special green that you can really see has so much depth to the paint and everything. It's a good looking car. So I was actually very nicely given the key so that we could take a look inside and everything in this video by Nashua Kia here in Nashua, New Hampshire. If you guys are looking for one of these, they have one. It just came in, I think 2 or 3 days ago. And yeah, it's got a sticker price of $59,465. As you guys might be able to see. Probably not. But it's got the really nice looking tan interior. As well as that awesome sunroof above. So I haven't opened the sunroof yet, but yeah, it's very much a driver-focused car. That's what the EV6 has always been. That's what its goal is. And in this video, you're gonna see me take a look at it, do a little walk around, a little interior review. I don't get to drive the car, which is fine. I'll work on that with these guys, but they're awesome. And if you guys do end up deciding to purchase a Kia from them, make sure you guys ask for Heidi. Now, this vehicle is the same standard dual motor setup that the eGMP platform has as an option. It's 320 horsepower. It's got a large rear motor and a small front motor, which means it's got the same small frunk. All of the eGMP vehicles in North America have that same smaller frunk. And so the 2023 Ioniq 6 GT line with the 20-inch rims has an EPA estimated range in the all-wheel drive format, at least, of 252 miles. If I remember correctly, that's lower than Ioniq 5 Limited's 266 miles or 256. Interesting to see that, considering this is a more slippery, more aerodynamic car. Not entirely sure why. You guys can see our GV60 just parked right next to it. I'm grabbing some of their free power while I'm here. It's definitely a very good looking car and a much different one on the inside than either of the other two vehicles on the eGMP platform. So let's hop inside and we'll take a look at that. As you can see, it's got more of a driver focused cockpit with tons of storage down here underneath. Basically all of the cars have storage down below in one form or another. You've got USB and USB-C. So you've got regular USB for CarPlay and stuff. You've got USB-C for charging. Similar to the GV60, you do actually have a display that curves towards the driver. So as a passenger in the passenger seat, it's not as flat as it would be in the Ioniq 5, where it's just a flat piece. You get your climate and infotainment / media controls down there. You get, interesting, you get a button to open your, what's it called? You get a button to open your glove box. Nice dash material, 2-spoke design on the wheel. Nothing I haven't seen before, a la GV60 or Ioniq 5. I really like the look of these seats and everything. They're just as comfortable as the other two. The headrest design is definitely a bit different. I'm by no means tall, but I have adequate headroom, even if I strain myself and sit up. The seats do recline to a comfortable position. I'm sure the Meridian sound is really nice. It's got dual level heated seats here in the rear. You've got USB-C for charging your devices while you're in the rear. And the big difference with EV6 versus any of the other eGMP offerings so far, it has a functional sunroof. No, it doesn't have a panoramic roof, but that sunroof would open. I'm not allowed to drive the vehicle, unfortunately, but we're allowed to take a look at it, do some filming on it and everything. So actually that material's interesting. It has the same design as the dash does. Let's see where oh, you just pull on it. It doesn't actually have a latch. You've got decent storage in here, actually. I'm quite surprised. That goes down quite a ways. It's hard to get a grasp of how deep that is. So that is to above my wrist. It's probably about as deep as that. You've got your wireless charger right there, which, as you can see, would fry any device that you try and wireless charge, just because it's going to get the sun hitting it all the time. You've got heated and ventilated front seats in this. You've got the controls for those right up front and center. You've got your power button. It's very much just a driver-focused cockpit here. You've got your plus and minus on your accelerator and brake pedal. That's a nice touch. The frunk is identical, as I mentioned before. As with other vehicles on the platform, you do get the vehicle to load outlet in the back seat on the top trim EV6. Then as far as trunk space goes, you're definitely a little more, well, you've got more depth, but the height is definitely a little more compromised because the roofline slopes so much more aggressively than it does on the GV60. If I were to open that by comparison, ignore that I've got tons of stuff here in the back, but you can just see you've got much more of a over and down versus it just kind of continuously going over and then down at the bottom. So much different rear hatch openings. I'm assuming the sub-trunk, okay, that's actually quite a bit better. Not nearly as many plastic dividers and everything. I'm not going to mess around with their model too much. I'm probably going to move it over there so I can just do a quick little intro outro. I did also want to mention this does have the same vehicle to load functionality and comes with an adapter, but no level 1 charging cable. The GV60 comes with both a level 1 charging cable and the vehicle to load adapter. The Ioniq 6 does not, and Ioniq 5 do not come with a vehicle to load adapter, but instead just come with the level 1 charge cable. Here, let's get the trunk closed. Oh, you have to hold it the whole way down. Interesting. So let's hit the button and close that rear powered trunk. One interesting thing about the key is all the buttons are on the side except for the move forward and backward buttons and remote start. It actually caused me to think that it didn't have this for a split second, just because I'm used to the Genesis key where they're all on the side, or the Hyundai key where they're all on one face. Yeah, it's a good looking key though, and you definitely know when you're locking the car versus unlocking it, because locking the car is on the diagonal on the key. My favorite thing about the EV6 though is just how much less like an EV it looks. It doesn't scream, hey look, I'm an electric vehicle, like our GV60 over there does, or like how the Ioniq 5 we had, or the Ioniq 6 I also recently reviewed does. Now this car, as I mentioned before, very similar vehicle. It does come with 1,000 kilowatt hour free charging on Electrify America, unlike the 3 years of free charging that you get with the GV60 or the 2 years of free charging you get with a Hyundai vehicle. But if you're installing a level 2 charger at home, shouldn't be an issue. 95% of charging generally should occur at home. As far as driving dynamics go, obviously you guys know I've just recently driven the EV6 GT. I loved it. It's such a zippy car. Obviously this one wouldn't be quite as fast, but it's still a very more reasonably fast car. The GT having nearly 600 horsepower is excessive for almost everyone on the market today. And I think that the GT line, which has ventilated seats and power seats, which the GT does not, as well as having more range, because it doesn't ship on summer tires, it has about 50 extra miles of range, and just having that, all the extra creature comforts. I mean, it's a much more comfortable car in the GT line. I'd probably end up going with a GT line if you don't need that extra power, if you're not living in Germany going on the Autobahn all the time. or if you're not drag racing or taking it to track days, because even this is still plenty fast. Like I had said, I had just driven an EV6 GT and I loved the way it drove. Cut to that video right here. Right lane?
Yeah, you got it. Keep going. I hit 130 miles an hour. Alright, there it is. You don't have to brake that hard, bro. It's just a little turn. It's just a little turn. Probably go 80 around this curve. There you go. And then this is your last straightaway. You don't have to brake that hard. Yeah. You're gonna stay in this lane, actually. There you go. Beautiful. That's it.
All right, guys, so what'd you think? Would you purchase one of these vehicles, or would you go with something from the Electric Global Modular platform, such as maybe the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, GV60, GV70 electrified, or do you think the EV6 is the right car for you? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more.